I can. Good afternoon. Hi, I'm Doug Brunke with Global Chamber, and this is a shortened Global Chamber San Francisco chapter meeting. And it's shortened just because of my bad planning, I think, because we don't even have our advisory board chair here. He was planning to be here, so I'm going to guess that he got tied up in a call and he'll be joining while we get started. So I'll start on his behalf. Shupto Mabub is our Global Chamber Advisory Board Chair. And we have two advisory board meetings coming up. We have two new board members here in the audience. And for your benefit, both July and September are those meetings. And we'll send the invitation to both of you so that you've got those on your calendar and can attend. So, two more advisory board meetings this year. And there are, for this chapter, several initiatives that are going on. There's a membership initiative. There's an advisory board addition initiative, and we have three new advisory board members. One is Ozga, another is Jörg, and they're both here. Yay. And another is a company and a leader from the firm Venture, Vensure. And we're actually onboarding them now. It's quite a large HR firm. They've been a PEO, and over the last couple of years, they decided to become a global HR company. That may not be the right way to characterize it, and I'm sorry if it sounded too simple. I think they've been evolving and building, and they have over 100 companies within their family. So that's probably taken quite a bit longer than a couple years. But they started coming up on my radar screen a couple years ago that there was a global aspect to them, and I'm very pleased to announce that they've become members. They're actually from Arizona, but they have a presence around the world, including in San Francisco, and their California person is going to be joining our board. I also want to just share that we have three events, 3 to 4 events, but probably three of them will for sure happen. One is a trade mission from Uzbekistan that's happening in October. Another is a trade mission from the UAE, which is happening in November. And then we had an event that was scheduled around Australia for Altos Bank, and that's evolving. I'm trying to manage that in a way that I can, but I think it's still very possible that it could be Australia focused. But I'm working with Altos Bank and working with the Australians and working with a sponsor for that to see how that's going to evolve. The other thing that we've talked about as a board is to have a social event sometime at Zorene's sometime in the next few months. And so that'll probably be after the board meeting, or it could be the board meeting in July. We could end up doing it as part of that, where we meet locally and then we step over to Zorene's for lunch or something like that. And then finally, the other thing that's happening that for Global Chamber, not just our partners, is a Semicon West pre-event. Semicon West is October 13th through 15th at Moscone Center. We have an event on October 12th set up nearby, and so the details of that will be forthcoming. But one of the first sponsors of that is Malaysia and Matrade and MITA. So I'm very pleased that they're interested in participating. They themselves have an event that evening that we'll be inviting Global Chamber members to, and we'll have a separate event at a co-working space nearby. So Ozga, I'm not sure you'll be able to attend that because it won't be virtual at all. But if you have any plans to travel to San Francisco, and I know you have some plans, if we could time it to October, that would be amazing. So that's a little bit about
Yes, I will see. I will see. You read my mind. I was thinking if I can make it, so I will see.
Okay. The
Thank you.
Semicon West is October 13th through 15th, and our event is October 12th. So that's what I have. And so let's, if you don't mind, let's devote the rest of the time to you. And that time might be just 15 more minutes because we're all busy. And I just want to make sure that at least we've communicated. We've got this, the information from you, especially around any needs that you have. And Ozga, I know it's late there, but I'd like to start with Jörg, if you don't mind, because Jörg, I almost got to meet a couple weeks ago, but my grandson got in the way and I could not break away. My daughter needed me to take care of my grandson, and I could not get over to Culver City. And the irony of it is, he lives pretty close to Culver City, and I live close. And on the way to Culver City, where he was doing an event and speaking, was kind of on the way, but I couldn't figure out how to do it. So, your congratulations on your telling the story of your personal story about how from Germany you've come to the U.S. and also how you help German companies come to the US and American companies to go to Germany. What's going on in your world? How did that event go? My sincere apologies, and I owe you some Wiener Schnitzel or some Sauerbraten or something at some point. How are you doing, and how can we help? Welcome to the advisory board.
Thank you, and also for your kind words. But maybe all that said, I think I'm the worst ex-German ever because I do not exactly crave German food at all. And I don't drink beer and never have. And I think soccer is the most boring thing in the world. I'm also going to completely ignore the World Cup, which is going to come up. But again, as I said, I'm the worst ex-German ever. Anyhow, so
okay. How about Sauerbraten, though? Everybody loves Sauerbraten.
No, not that much.
Really? Okay. Amazing. Oh, you haven't had my grandmother's Sauerbraten. That's probably why.
Yeah, maybe. So, the event in Culver City went extremely well because, as you pointed out, we primarily help any foreign company enter the German market, and mostly American companies, because I'm based in San Francisco, and Silicon Valley, San Francisco Bay Area is our biggest client base for, I don't know, for decades now. And that's the reason we have opened the office in the so-called German hub. That means our offices are together with the German American Chamber of Commerce, Germany Trade and Invest, and other German trade organizations, and we're the only one from the private sector within this office. And so far also to our credibility. But this event was focusing on individuals and their needs when it comes to inheritance tax planning and also income tax, if they have, let's say, tax nexuses in the US and in Germany. We don't do US taxation, but there was a colleague of mine on the panel who covered the US side and we covered the German side. So that in total, let's say, we would be able to present, let's say, a whole solution for someone who has issues with US and German taxation. And I must say, it was a lot of people attending. I think it was 100 plus, and they had very serious questions. They were very interested, and the first client already came out of it. So it was a very good event and with very high quality people. And I think that went very well.
Fantastic. Congratulations.
Yeah.
What kind of client did you get without getting into the specifics? How, like, was it a typical classic client that you want right down the middle, and that will give us an idea of who the clients are that you're.
It was a typical client we have. It was a family, and they are starting now, let's say, how to structure their estate planning, especially they had assets in Germany, and how to divide them amongst their sons, and how to do this in the most tax efficient way, and also do it early enough. And prior, because I'm with Reuter and partner now for nearly 28 years, and I'm equity partner for 27 plus years. But prior to this, I worked in a firm where we only had high net worth individuals. So there was a lot of insights of what to do and don'ts, what you have to do when you pass on, let's say, to the next generation, and to avoid any friction, because in Germany, that's even in the law that says property, or when you have assets, it's also a commitment. It's also a liability in the way you should not leave any kind of mess for the next generation. So, and this is something that we started to plan on this. But it was more or less a typical client. I think the entire audience were typical clients in different shades and form, what we all do to help them if they have international taxation issues from a German perspective.
Fantastic. Does anybody have any questions for Jörg? And while waiting, just a quick question. The German hub then, is that in San Francisco itself in the city?
Yes, it's on One Montgomery. Again, it's a German government organization. It's right in the city, and say, I'm more than happy to offer our office. We just recently moved and we have a big event space now. So if we are going to have any kind of board meetings or whatever event, of course, need a little bit planning, because besides us, there are other, let's say, organizations, but I should be able also to host this at least up to, I would say, 80 or 100 people. I could cover, let's say, in outer offices. And again, if you need for any kind of space, just let me know. I'm happy to accommodate this. And of course, at no cost.
Amazing. No, that's great. So that actually might be a good place for the Semicon West one, although we have another co-working space that's offered to do it as well. So I'll definitely circle back with you on that. In terms of spaces, this then would be a third space for us, because we've got that a co-working space where we did a big event, about 100 people. It's a Philippine, I'm forgetting the name of the company, but it's owned by a Philippine company, and we did a Malaysia, Vietnam, Philippine event during COVID years. So that's great. And the other place that we have reserved is Altos Bank, but that's in Los Altos, which is not exactly convenient to downtown San Francisco.
And especially when you commute during the day. And by the way, our office is still in walking distance from the Moscone Center, maybe 10 minutes, but it's still walking distance.
That's absolutely perfect. That's great. I don't hear any questions, and so maybe Oskar, could you go next? You are new to the board as well, and you've given some really tremendous presentations about global trade, and you've pulled information there, and you have the connection between where you are in Turkey and San Francisco. So thank you for your leadership. What would you like to share in terms of who you'd like to meet and how we can help you?
Well, thank you very much, Doug. First of all, I'm very excited to meet all of you. Because I'm a part of the group, I am receiving some proposals, and I would like to share with them. Currently, I have a friend, and they have a Swiss investor, and they are forming a bank in Switzerland. So they are looking for investors, and it is going to be a digital bank. And their advisor is also from Switzerland. And because I have banking experience, I help them to prepare the presentation. I am looking at their feasibility, and it is concentrating on sustainability projects. So I'm sharing those things. In case you hear anyone, it's connected. This is something that the proposal is in front of me, and that's what I'm working on. The second
is that something from someone that you know, and how reputable?
Yeah. Yes, they are very trusted people. Anything that I don't trust, I will not mention here. That's the person in Switzerland is a very trusted person in the Swiss banking industry, and the person who is my counterpart is from Turkey, and I know him since from high school.
Okay. So I think it's worthwhile to get that in front of Dr. Kagram. So Dr. Sanjeev Kagram, who's our board chair, actually, a co-chair of the Global Chamber Board. He is a Stanford Hoover Institute fellow. He is the co-chair of Altos Bank, and his father was a banker in Uganda, and he subsequently always wanted to get a bank started, and so he was instrumental as a co-founder of Altos Bank. And so I think it's worthwhile having him take a look.
Sure. I'll get the contacts from you after the meeting, if you don't mind. The second thing I'm working on is there were two, this year I gave banking, one of them was CRM, the other one is portfolio management, to two Ethiopian banks. They came to Istanbul, and through that connection, there is a tender that we are preparing. There is a technology company that found me, and I am helping them to prepare for this vendor. Their technology is very good. This is the LMS system, and I am putting together the trainers so that Development Bank of Ethiopia is doing a great job uh, in terms of managing the portfolio going forward, loans basically. So that's another thing I'm working on. So the trainers are almost set. So we're preparing for the bid. So let's cross our fingers. I'm excited about that because it's a poor country and they have the resources, they have the potential. So the information that we have needs to be put there so that we can help them to prosper as well. The third thing I'm working on is a company called Pavo. His the company's AGM from sales and used to report to me. So I met with the general manager, and this is a very good company, and they got some consulting from me in terms of customer experience. Now they are at a point where they want to be bought. One of the contacts that I try to find contacts in Ingenico. So they want to be purchased by Ingenico. But I didn't hear anything from them. So I'm looking for investors because that company is taking POS machines from China. But the important thing is they are very creative in terms of writing the software behind that hardware. And for instance, they have special software developed for doctors, for different groups, or like, I will not go into very details to observe the time. So those are the three things, big projects that I'm working on. Yeah, let me share it with you so that in case it clicks, you hear something, we can connect, and anything I can help you with, I will be happy to assist.
You had mentioned about the possibility of coming to San Francisco. Do you think you'll be coming this year sometime?
I really would like to, and before this meeting, the reason I was a little bit late, where we were discussing if we can, etc. So there is some I need to manage, and I'll let you know when the dates are confirmed.
So October, November is going to be our busy month for events in this chapter, and it's going to be the Semicon West event. It's going to be Uzbekistan, a trade mission, and it's going to be the UAE trade mission that we have. So we've got three events that are October, November, and as you think about it, I'm happy to share more details. I have the details on the UAE one. It's that I can share, and then the Uzbekistan one, they said I should know in about 10 days to confirm. But there's visas involved, so we'll have plenty of time to get the details.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Oska. Deep Sengupta, the world's preeminent compliance expert, is here. He also was our first Global Chamber San Francisco Advisory Board Chair. Deep, do you have an opportunity to say hi and give us an update on what you're involved with and how we can help? Are you there?
Absolutely, Doug. Thank you so much for your kind words. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Sorry, I'm can't turn my video on for some reason. But Doug, nothing much. For those who don't know me, I run a small international trade consulting firm focused on import and export rules. And life is busy because on the import side, a lot of companies are getting their customs duty refund applications in. And on the export control side, the government's really increased enforcement, penalties. So I help companies build export compliance programs as well and trainings. So it's busy, but it's good.
So
And
definitely, if you can, October 12th, I've already got you penciled into the program before Semicon West. Do
oh,
you have a plan to be at Semicon West the 13th through the 15th of October?
absolutely. Last year, we met in Phoenix at your
Yeah.
headquarters. It's going to be in San Francisco this year, right, Doug?
Yes, it is.
Oh, yes. Semiconductor companies is a large section of my customer base, so I'll definitely be there. So, yeah, and look forward to seeing
Okay.
you there.
Yeah, they've decided to go back and forth. Last year was the first year for Phoenix. It's always been in San Francisco. This year it's back to San Francisco, and then it'll be back to Phoenix and back to San Francisco.
Oh, I
That
see.
that process was intended to be, I think it's set for 5 years or 10 years or something like that. But it was funny because I was explaining it to somebody in the Phoenix chapter, and they said, "Oh, no, no, it's going to be in Phoenix this year." And I said, no, no, I don't think so, unless something's changed. And we both went to the website, and it is in San Francisco. And so I
Okay.
think there's people in Phoenix who are spreading the rumor that it's always going to be in Phoenix. But
Right.
it was the highest attended Semicon West in history last October.
Yes.
So Phoenix is playing up on that piece of it. So
Right.
so
Uh, I was standing in the long line outside the convention center. Right. Doug, I just want to offer maybe the Global Chamber San Francisco, we could take the lead in, creating maybe an international trade, a regulatory seminar for the Global Chamber audience, totally free. But since the Silicon Valley is in our backyard, and if you've got any interest, I could put together a team of speakers or ask for your feedback on speakers and put something together.
would that be in person or virtual?
I was thinking virtual, but in person, virtual as in maybe the couple of weeks leading up to the seminar. But if you're open to in person, we could do that too.
Okay. So let's keep it open either way. But I like
Sounds
the
great.
idea of the virtual because we have a semicon team, a global team that's been assembled. And as you already know, there's at least 15 key countries in that industry. And so it would be kind of cool to do something that would involve many of those. And so let me know what your additional thoughts are and let's plan one or two things. Absolutely.
Sounds great, Doug. I'll get back to you in the next week or so.
You're amazing. Thank you, Dee.
Thanks,
So
Doug.
we do have a visitor, Cesar Viana Teague, and Cesar and I did go back to our LinkedIn and we got connected in 2017. So
Yep.
We will be celebrating our ninth anniversary of
Yeah, it's
being
been a
connected.
while.
And so congratulations. Looks like you do some amazing marketing work. Could you let us know a little bit more?
Sure, yeah, and we connected through Marco Robert, who moved from here, the Bay Area, to Arizona, and he's the one who let me know
Marco
about you.
Robert. Oh
Remember
my,
him?
what happened to Marco Robert?
I lost touch with him as well, but he moved over there to be with his girlfriend. I don't know if he became his wife, but I should reach out to him and say hello. But yeah, that's how we originally got connected. And then I was also originally interested in heading up the San Francisco chapter for Global Chamber because obviously 9 years ago, I think things were just, I mean, you had been going for quite some time, but over here, looks like there's been obviously changes in local leadership, and we chatted about it. But
Got it.
so yeah, I'm
Yeah, I think
based
there
here.
was even 9 years ago, there was probably that we would move to California
Yeah,
and my daughter was, I think, going to school probably in those days at UCSF,
that's it.
nurse practitioner. And then
Yes,
we
yes,
had a fellow, Henry Innes, who was our executive
yes.
director. You remember Henry?
Remember Henry? I met him. Yeah, I actually met with Henry, but
And then he moved to Austin.
he moved to Austin. Yeah, he was doing all kind of things. So I did connect with Henry. He's actually from the Philippines.
Yeah,
I was
exactly.
born in the Philippines, so my name is Spanish, but I'm half Venezuelan, part Filipino, my mom's Filipino American, and all that. So I'm
Uh,
multicultural, and
That's awesome. We're doing
yeah,
actually
Well,
literally like right before I got on this call, our executive director in Venezuela is doing a deal with China, and there's certain things I need to do to stay within the law, number one, and two, to support the deal. So we're working on that. Do you still have ties to Venezuela?
Not that much. My wife's actually from Peru, and during COVID, when things were shutting down or things were happening also between China and the US, I mean, that's the business between China and Latin America, South America in particular, was just thriving. It's been thriving, and they're still buying up a lot of certain interests there. But yeah, so I've been in touch with that, and like I said, I got your email, so I look at it. I just haven't been actively involved. But then something, I'm not sure what, but propelled me to join today.
Well, I'm
So
glad you did. It's
yeah,
glad to be reconnected. You're brought back some good memories. So let us know a little bit more about the marketing work that you do and how we can
sure.
help.
Yeah, so I've been doing work also with economic development agencies. So you mentioned Malaysia and everything. So one of the clients that I work with through a colleague of mine in New York, Doug Bragg, is with the Thailand BOI, Board of Investment. So we've helped them. We've helped um, even in Germany, we helped the Thuringen region. Thuringen is where Carl Zeiss is located, the optical company Zeiss. Um, they make the optics for cameras and all kinds of medical equipment, phenomenal business. So we've done work for different economic development agencies that are looking to expand into the US. So we're actually doing the grunt work of finding the companies that have interest in speaking with typically the directors and heads of these agencies that, because they want American companies, obviously their remit is to create jobs in their local economies and in situations. So we help to find those companies and go through that digging to get them in front of the people to expand. So fundamentally, the marketing work I do is that it's just go to market work to really find decision makers at mid market and enterprises that have interest in engaging in a business discussion. Whatever the business discussion might be, but. Right. So I've done economic development work. I've done this work for software development companies in particular, and IT consulting firms. So that's
All right.
usually what I'm doing. And I do have a website, because I do this on a fractional basis, and I can put my website in the chat here if that's acceptable. I can put it here, and
Absolutely.
people can see
Please
what
do.
I'm doing, and we can go from there if there's any
And,
interest.
and your LinkedIn profile as well. Feel free to.
I will do that. And for Semicon, by the way, that is October 13th to 15th, and if there's any, and this is exactly some of the work we were doing, is typically we try to revolve the business development endeavor around an event. It's easy to really get in front of people at live events, and you know what I mean. They're out of their office. They're so much more open to conversations around some kind of joint venture or business development than just trying to get them on the phone and do an online thing. Of course, you still need to do that now because people got used to it. But usually at events, we try to couple our efforts with setting up a meeting, an appointment at the event, at the venue, or like you said, there's the co-working spaces around the area. I know the Philippine one you're talking about was actually at the same. It's in the floor above the Philippine Embassy on Sutter Street in San
That's
Francisco.
it. Yeah,
Yep,
that's it.
Kalanuk, J.R. Kalanuk is his name,
Yeah, that's it.
CEO founder. And so I know a few places here. I know also the folks at WorkWise, the operations, the founder there. They're from England originally. And so, yeah, I just know some folks. And so the whole idea here is to set up meetings and get in front of folks during these types of events here. And, Dreamforce, as you know, is one of them that's happening in September. That's a huge one. And that's the building right there. So Salesforce. And so that's what I'm doing, and happy to connect with anyone about anything. I'm very collaborative. It's transparent, that's direct, that's kind of like a little bit what I'm about. And I love German things, just so you know. I do love sauerkraut. I just had a bockwurst the other day, and so I love football. So I'm sorry, Jörg, we're kind of we're sort of not aligned there, but I'm sure we'll find something in common.
I think I'm easy. It's simply about that I don't fit into the German stereotypes. I think that's the only thing.
Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, I love everything German. I'm not sure why. I think there's something in my blood about Germany, but that's a whole nother story. But anyway, yeah, I'll put something here. Thank you, Doug, and anybody welcome to connect here. I'll put that in here as well. Any questions before I mute myself?
Well, just to kind of building off of what you said, we do now, it started today, a weekly foreign direct investment conversation, and we almost always have an economic development organization speaking. And so we kind of kicked it off the last couple of weeks talking about foreign direct investment, the topic of what FDI is and what the legality is and how it's evolved, especially with a US focus, but global. And then this week we kicked off with, actually last week we kicked off with Portugal and Delaware. This week we did Malaysia. Next week we do Puerto Rico. Then we do Taiwan is coming up in 2 or 3 weeks. And so every week we're doing some part of the world. That might be an interesting thing for you to engage with. The Malaysia one, have you worked with either Matrade or MIDA in terms of their work?
Not so. For Asia, that was the only organization we worked with was Thailand and the city of Brisbane in Australia, and that was pretty much it for that. We haven't worked on anything with Hong Kong or Jetro or any of those folks. No, it's mostly European for some reason. We've done all kind of work for the European agencies, but not as much for.
We have good relationships with almost all the Asian ones. That's where I had most of my career. And so I think Taitra really needs help. My observation, they're putting a new office in Phoenix and they're going to be finding it. They've announced it, but they didn't have it yet. I verified yesterday. And so they have to figure out where it is and then how to announce it. And I'm sure they will, but they need help on that. The Canadian government is announcing a Phoenix location. I just got the letter to invited for the 24th or 25th. That's too late to get you involved in that. But the Malaysia one, I did get the sense that they're in development of doing probably things that you could help with. And so let's chat offline to see if that would make sense.
Sure. They usually put that out to bid, right? They usually start their contracts, and some of them in September, and they run from like a September to September annual. And then they put certain contracts that they're required to like choose 3 entities and then go from there. But so we've worked like with Thailand, their offices was in LA and New York. So we worked with both offices. They had different budgets, different remits. But yes, happy to discuss that, and we can go from there. I put my information in the chat. Everybody's welcome to connect if you like. And certainly if you're local here to San Francisco, I live by San Francisco State University. And that's in the southern part of the city, but always happy to connect for coffee, tea, or a beer. So
where do you get a good beer and sauerkraut in San Francisco? I'll bet you Jörg may not go
It's
there.
funny you ask. I was just there. There's a gentleman I know. He's from the Czech Republic, and he owns a restaurant in San Francisco called Paprika. And he is in the Mission District, and he's got excellent. His sauerkraut is great. He has a range of different sausages that he does. Bratwurst, Bockwurst, kielbasa. He does all kind of things, and just really excellent. Goulash, very good, and what do you call that? Homey kind of like food and good beers. He has Czech Bar and Pilsner Urquell and things of that nature. But they're not German, but still very good. So we can always go visit that when anybody's in town that's interested. Happy to take you to introduce you to Peter, who's again from outside of Prague.
Okay. We've done within San Francisco, we've done a French restaurant in Menlo Park and a lunch. And then as Deep knows, Zareen's in Palo Alto is all of our go-to place. One of the best Indian restaurants in the US.
But I've got to butt in. Paprika's menu, I just checked out, was very impressive. I was going to recommend Schroeder's, but
Schroeder's is good. Schroeder's is, that's been around. I went to their 115th anniversary last year. They had downtown because they closed that street on Front Street. They do that. They used to do it every Friday. So Schroeder's is German, excellent.
Sorry, I really have to contradict there. Schroeder's is the worst possible place. It was the worst lunch I've ever had in San Francisco. Honestly, someone wanted to do me a favor and dragged me to a German restaurant. I didn't ask for this. And I was sitting there, what am I going to eat? So, and it was a salad with some chicken. You think you cannot go wrong with this. Yes, and you could go wrong with this. I felt sick the entire afternoon. So seriously, I've never ever been back there. And honestly, the German community I know, they don't go to Schroeder's.
Wow.
Seriously, that is a very bad place, honestly. So I don't know about the other ones. It might be, they might have some food which people like, but again, Schroeder's, and I've never had a bad lunch in San Francisco, and I go out a lot with clients and something. I've only had good experience. But Schroeder's is for me a place to stay far away from.
Yeah, you might want to go around the corner instead to the famous one that's been here since 1849, this Tadich Grill.
Yeah, Tadich is perfect. Yes, Tadich is perfect.
Tadich,
yes, I love
Tadich. It's excellent. It's still there. It's excellent,
Yeah.
traditional. It's been around for a long time, and that's
That
another
is
one I
really good
recommend to
because
everyone.
I really like this cuisine. And the next one is also Sam's Grill, which may be a little bit more, a little bit younger, but simply the same. This is all perfect, and never had a bad experience there.
Yeah, there's lots of places. Doug, don't worry, we could get you into many other places. Maybe you know some too.
I
again,
think we're all set for the foreseeable future. So I look forward to being up there. Certainly, my plan is to be there sometime in the summer, probably for the board meeting in July, and then in October, certainly. So at least those 2 times. I am in Los Angeles now, and it's not bad to get up there. I've even driven it. I find it not so bad to drive. But plane is definitely easy into. But I've been coming into San Jose. And so coming into, I've been to SFO as well. So it's not so bad. It's not a bad airport. So does anybody else have any information before we close the room?
Only thing is,
I was going to suggest a Turkish restaurant in Palo Alto. The rating is 4.6. May House. MEY House. May House. It's in Palo Alto.
We have to look at that one for sure. And definitely if you come, we'll go there.
Yeah, there's one in San Francisco as well, and not too far from Paprika, called Anatolia.
Okay, that one my son doesn't like it that much, I mean, it's not bad, but compared to the ones in Turkey, he thinks the ones in Turkey is much better. But May House, I'm hearing from friends that they are just to share with you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Go ahead, Jörg. Sorry we interrupted.
Sorry, I was just saying, so there are so many good places also for lunch. And I said to you, Doug, I was writing it, I don't know when the meeting in July is going to be, but I will be gone the whole month of July. I'm going to be in Germany.
Oh, that's right. You just said that.
Yeah. So
when are you going to be back?
I will return on the 29th. I leave on the 6th, and I will
the first week in August.
That would be really good, but directly one thing.
Yeah.
I won't be available on August 5th. Oh, yes, I can do during the day on August 5th, but not on August 6th, because I have, let me quickly check, first week of August. Yes, so the 6th, I'm not available for the entire day, and I only have an evening event on the 5th. Just for your planning purpose. So 4th would be perfect, for example. Maybe even the 7th, that would also work.
Okay.
But if we then go to lunch or dinner, because one of my favorite places is Perbaco. And if you really like seafood, if anybody has ever been to the Water Bar, this is for me the best restaurant in San Francisco for 10 plus years. They have the best, I would say, seafood, and especially the desserts are simply divine.
What was the name of it?
Water Bar. It's directly under the Bay Bridge.
Oh, the water.
Beautiful views, no matter how the weather is.
It's
appealing in the fog. It's appealing in sunshine. It is really great water bar. I send everybody there if they eat fish. And again, when it comes to an Italian place, nothing matches Perbacco. I really go there very often. And this is all, let's say, good quality, but not, let's say, exaggerating in pricing.
Wow, fantastic. Thank you. I'm glad we heard that. And does anybody else have any info? Anything else they'd like to share? So not Anatoly, and not what was the one that we voted
Schroeder's.
against? Schroeder's, no Schroeder's. But Waterbar sounds amazing, and
It
Tadic
is.
sounds amazing, and
Yeah.
we know Zareen's is always a home run. So we've got a lot, probably many dozens that we can choose from. So this is good news.
Yeah.
So thank you everybody for coming. Sorry we went a little bit over. I was thinking it might be a 30-minute, but it was really well worth my time to listen more and learn more, and look forward to working with all of you. Have a great rest of your day and take care all.
Bye, Doug. Bye.
Okay.
Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Cheers.
you.